All right, welcome back this morning as hurricane season continues here in Florida. You do always want to make sure that your home and yard are prepared. Strong winds, heavy rain can cause some serious damage if not. And joining us this morning is Scott Carroll with Servicemaster DSI, helping people across Tampa Bay in the midst of a disaster or restoration work. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know, so many of us here in Florida just, hurricane preparedness is just part of life.
Right.
But every year, thousands of people are moving in from places like Ohio, where they have no familiarity with tropical weather. And so a few reminders on how to prepare yourself and your home for the hurricanes is a good idea.
Yeah, and we continue to do the stories a year after we got back-to-back hurricanes in the area, real wallop. So it was something that I think people always hear about hurricane preparedness, but last year really gave us a run for our money and kind of made us reassess how we prepare for storm season. So many people are still rebuilding right now, and I think that's a big factor too, right? In these neighborhoods that are flood prone, you got a lot of construction around you.
For sure. It's, one of the things to know is just always pay attention to your local authorities, have a good news outlet to keep an idea of what's coming in, and be prepared for, being ready to get out of there if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. People that are moving into the area, you talked about, people do come from, Midwest states. They don't have to deal with hurricanes typically, and this is a new thing for them. A lot of homes have gone on the market. People who experienced flooding last year and decided to get out of Dodge. So people are moving into areas that are flood prone. What do they need to know? How do you assess your property right now ahead of any kind of storm? We're not just talking about hurricanes. Obviously, we don't want to see those, but just a normal rainy day where you get a lot of rain.
You should find out when you're in the process of purchasing your home if you're in a floodplain, and then talk with your insurance agent about that and determine if you need to purchase additional flood coverage for your property.
Yeah, and looking at the property too, like trees and fences, things like that too.
Well, throughout the year, definitely keep your yard maintained. But if there's a potential storm approaching, you want to pick up around the yard, bring in any furniture. If you see loose limbs, get those down so that, because when the wind comes, they are going to come down anyway. So you might as well get it done ahead of time.
Yeah, you don't want to wait on things like that. Our doors, our windows, roofs, things like that are imperative. What can we do right now to secure them?
Keep your roof properly maintained. It doesn't hurt to call a roofer to come out there and do a pre-inspection. We can help you coordinate that. Keep storm drains cleaned. If you have storm shutters, put those up. If you don't have storm shutters, consider boarding them up with plywood.
Yeah.
The tape X across the window usually isn't all that effective.
Of investigators at Baraz's home on Drexel Road. Deputies say that she called 911 around 10 that morning to report the incident. Investigators are now.
There we go. Look, we apologize. A little technical difficulty there, but I also want you to reiterate here too when we talk about flooding and people that are prone to that. What can you do right now to help mitigate that in your yard? Because again, not just a hurricane, but we get some downpour afternoons.
Yeah, make sure that your gutters are draining out properly to where they need to go. Make sure the grading of your yard around your house helps the water flow away from your house as much as possible. Now, if you've got storm surge or just a significant rain where it's coming up, there might not be anything you can do, but you can prepare with sandbags and so on just to keep it from coming into the house.
Yeah, and we talk about the hurricane kits too. That's just lastly wanted to touch on that before we go today. This is the time. We keep knocking on wood that we've really had a quiet season for us, which is huge. But you want to have things on hand just in case.
Water, a week's worth of water for your family, batteries, flashlights, cell phones, important documents, and your medications, and then food. Those are some of the number, the top of the list of things that you need to have on hand. And always have a go bag, and know that if it's going to get scary or dangerous, go find someplace else to stay. You don't need to ride out the storm.
Don't have to go far, but you don't want to be in your home. How do people reach out to you for any more information?
They can call us at our national phone number, 1-800-954-9444, or they can look us up on the internet at servicemasterdsi.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks to Courtney. We're just going to give you the credit because you guys get the side eye when the storms are headed